Hi, friends. Hey, how is it going? I am delighted to be coming live with you. I'm delighted to be here. So, happy Monday. I posted this as story time. So, I'm going to share a story with you. I will wait just a minute to see if any of you want to come and join me live. As you get here, come say hello. I would love to know that you're here. And I'm feeling, I have my cards out, so I'm feeling like I am going to pull a card for our time. I've said this on most of the card readings that I do, is that I don't live and die by the cards. I do love, however, how they land perfectly most of the time. So I'm going to pull a card for us, and then we're going to chat. We're going to have story time. I'm going to tell you all about the story I shared earlier. Me working out. I did 3 workouts in the last 7 days, which is a win, which is really exciting. But first, let's pull a card. I'm going to pull a card. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull a card for business. I'm going to pull a card for business. So if you have a business, if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are an intrapreneur, or if you support someone's business, you're a solo business owner, however this lands, it's going to be perfect. So come and hang out. Let's check out what card comes up for us. Take a nice deep inhale and an exhale. We'll see what card comes up, and then we're going to talk and get into story time. So I'm just feeling like a card will be perfect right now. And I think it's that one right there. Okay. Are you ready? It's the fixed card, and it says implement. So let's go deeper and see what else it has to say. Fixed card. One moment. Here it is. Let me show you the picture too. So there it is. Fixed. Implement. Keywords: stabilize, build, and graft. If you pull this card, you're being asked to do whatever it takes to bring your ideas into a practical form and implement them. In business astrology, the fixed quality represents your ability to go from vision to implementation. It's important to remember that creation is spiral. It can feel like we are a long way off when we are in the process, but illumination is just around the corner. You may need to set yourself a plan, a timetable, or a routine to support you to take action. Or maybe you'd benefit from getting help to implement your business ideas from specialist service providers or implementers. What is truly holding you back from going from idea to action, and how can you overcome that resistance? I think that's a great card for anyone in business, or even if you are not in business for yourself. Like how can that apply to everyday life, right? So what is holding you back from whatever is this idea that you're having right now that is being asked for your attention? So, all right, enough about that. Let's do story time. So I shared that story time today is all about sight. And here's what I want to share with you. A number of years ago, this was pre-pandemic. Do we all do that now? Is it like pre-pandemic, post-pandemic? Is it like my gauge for a long time has been pre-accident, post-accident, because that was 11 years ago now, and then it was pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, and then it was pre-fentanyl, post-fentanyl. So it's like there's all of these little before and afters. Is that how you timeline things in your brain too? I'm not sure, but that's how I do it. So pre-pandemic, because it was before, I know it was before that, I just don't know when. I had a calendar, and on that calendar, I had realized that it was around the time that I was working through some deeper healing and going through a few more things to like really get my healing kind of in order and sort it out. And I remember having a conversation with my dang self about not taking the action that I knew I needed to continue taking in order to lean into the person that I wanted to become and the health version of myself that I wanted to become. And have you ever had a time when you are leaning in, your hands are open, you're aware, right? I firmly believe that the first step to anything coming to us is the awareness, right? We have to have the awareness and the openness for the next action to come, for the next step to be given to us, right? We don't need, Martin Luther King Jr. said, we don't need the entire staircase, we just need the next step, right? You don't need the whole staircase lit, you just need the next step. And I think of that like with my car at night and the headlights, right? I don't need the headlights to be lit the entire drive home as long as it's lit right in front of where I'm going. And I use that analogy all the time because it seems to land so well. And so in this specific experience around sight, and I titled this, If I Lose Sight of Me, Who Else Has My Sight? And what that means is this. So during this time, I was going through my own health journey and had a moment of clarity after the awareness came, right? So that's the whole point, is the awareness comes first, and then we can have this moment of clarity, this drop in, this next step. And what came forward was the phrase, if I lose sight of me, who else has my sight? And when a phrase drops in, I always stop and listen to it. And I lean in and I contemplate it and I let it percolate and let it kind of expand. And what came forward next was the realization that my husband, bless his heart, although he adores me and he would do anything he could to help me, he could not take the action that I needed to take in order for me to regain my health. And in recognizing that, right, it seems so simple, but in recognizing it and having this realization, this powerful drop in, this moment of real extreme clarity, if I lose sight of me, who else has my sight? Like, he can support me, he can love me, but he can't take the action to get me to my health. He can't go to the gym on my behalf, right? He could buy me the shoes, he could buy me the outfit, he could get me a gym membership, whatever needs to happen, he could buy all of those things, but who actually has to be the one to go to the gym? Who actually has to be the one to eat the foods? Who actually has to be the one to take the action? And we can apply this to anything in life, right? If I lose sight of me, who else has my sight? No one. No one, and that's the point. People can do things to support you. I can show up for my clients, and I do 100% of the time. When I show up for my clients, I'm all in. I can be there, I can support you, I can give you the tools, the resources, the ideas, the clarity. I can inspire you, I can encourage you, I can motivate, I can do all of these things. But who has to be the one to take the action? You do. And if you lose sight of you, who else has your sight? No one. Anyone else around you can get you so far, but you have to be the one to go all in. And that's the point of this, is that you have to be the one to go all in. And it was a really interesting realization. Again, it was a number of years ago, and I was going through this health journey and not making the progress that I wanted to make. And I was feeling, if I'm candid with you, I was feeling some blame game going on. And I was like, really annoyed. And that's when that statement came in. It just dropped in like a ton of bricks. If I lose sight of me, who else has my sight? My husband can do all of those things. He can love me to the moon and back. He can support me any way that I need to be supported. He can buy me the right foods. He can buy me the juices. He can buy me the memberships. He can do all of these things, but who has to take the action? I do. And here's why I want to share this. I want you to consider, is there an area in your life, whether business or personal, where you are, maybe you've lost a little bit of sight of yourself, right? Maybe you're waiting for someone else to show up and save the day. Maybe you're waiting for the perfect answer. Maybe you're waiting for the perfect resource, the perfect connection, the perfect idea before you take the next step. And I want to encourage you that you're the only one that can take the next action that you need to take. You're the only one who can do it. And we can put it outside of ourselves. We can blame it on some other thing. We can blame it on a situation or a circumstance. But really, in order to move forward in this moment, in whatever way you know you need to move forward, it comes down to you. And that's what I want you to consider. And that's why I posted that picture of myself in the gym this morning, because that message, that reminder circled back around as I'm launching this new program. It's all about action for greatness. And it's focused on women entrepreneurs. And what I'm very quickly realizing, what I've known, and it's just, sometimes we learn a lesson and then it drops in deeper in another way, and has become more consistently, I find myself leaning into it even more and more. What I've learned is that although I'm creating this program for women entrepreneurs, it applies to women in life, personal, professional, it doesn't matter. It's all across the board, because as women entrepreneurs, we don't just show up with our business in one hand and we leave the rest of us back home, right? We show up with all of us all together the entire way. It isn't a separation for women entrepreneurs. And so the work and the programming that I'm supporting women around right now, it's Action for Greatness. And yes, we're going to focus on women entrepreneurs. And also, you don't need to have a business in order to gain from it, which is really exciting. What you do need to have, though, is sight for yourself. You do need to have that willingness to show up and say, okay, Jen's going to be here. She's going to support me. She's going to love me. She's going to give me all the resources and tools and ideas and things that I need. And also, I have to be the one to take the first step. Because you know what? As a coach, I am over working with people who don't want it more for themselves than I want it for them. You've got to want it at least 51%. I'll carry the rest, but you have to want it more than I want it for you. And that is something I'm really clear on now, which I wasn't so clear on before. And it's really exciting, because then you can answer that question. If I lose sight of me, who else has my sight? No one. You have to hold on to your own sight for yourself. And you can call it selfish. You can call it any of those other words that come to mind. And it's not. It's just recognizing that we can give tools and resources and support and ideas to anyone, but you have to be the one to pick them up, right? It's that whole teach a person to fish. Well, they gotta go fish then, right? We still have to pick up the tools. So that's what that means. I'm happy to share more context, more ideas. I love this stuff. I love teaching moments. I love sharing moments. I love finding the silver lining in whatever is coming our way, and I'm delighted to be able to bring in more live videos and more shares to the table. If you like this and you want more, and you're a female and you want to come and join me in True North Journey, I have a private Facebook group, so you can check that out. Let me know, and I will see you